Empowerment for the Youth, GEFTY, is a waste to wealth program aimed at empowering unemployed youth in the state. In her bid to further promote healthy and conducive environment for all, Mrs. Olufunso Amosu in the year 2013 organized a 2-day Going Green International Conference and workshop. The epoch-making event attracted stakeholders and dignitaries from across and outside the country. Among them were members of the European Parliament, representatives from the West African countries, wives of state governors in Nigeria, eminent environmentalists and environmental organizations, amongst several others. In the year 2013, the Uplift Development Foundation, in collaboration with Nigeria Bottling Company, distributed 50 Coca-Cola iconic kiosks with products, coolers, as well as branded refrigerators to the tune of 20 million naira to unemployed indigents in the state in order to make them become self-reliant. Pregnant women and children were given mosquito nets and multivitamins to help stem the tide of malaria infections. This program was designed to empower women living with the HIV/AIDS virus with items like mini business stands, deep freezers, generators, sewing machines. Others are food items for sale, hair dryers, grinding machines. The idea is to enable them set up small-scale businesses. The women were also encouraged to go for HIV tests, as well as support women living with HIV/AIDS by campaigning against stigmatization and discrimination. Under this program, men and women in the states are being provided assistance through an interest-free microcredit scheme to enable them set up small-scale businesses in order to become self-reliant. Under this yearly program, which started in 2013, over 15,000 vulnerable elderly and pregnant women across the 20 local government areas receive food items and maternity kits, respectively. This is an initiative where 20 footballers under the ages of 13 are identified and selected for further coaching. 2,500 students from secondary schools in Ogun State were selected. It is under the tutelage of the renowned British football scout Mr. Jim Colson, with the support of Nigeria's ex-international footballer Chief Segun Odegbami and football ambassador Mr. John Fashanu. There are 22 players that are pioneering beneficiaries of the Uplift Under-15 grassroots football camp from the 2013 Easter Football Talent Hunt were taken for soccer training in Italy over the summer holiday in 2013 to improve their football skills and gain exposure to international opportunities. Today, one of the beneficiaries, Udo Akpan, is Nigeria's Under-17 team #1 goalkeeper. He featured in the 2015 FIFA Under-17 World Cup in Chile. In December 2015, 6 of the Uplift football beneficiaries were signed on by a FIFA-authorized agent in Slovenia. This program targets mothers and children as part of the deliberate effort to address the high incidences of infant and maternal mortality in the Gateway State. Mama kits, consumables, as well as essential drugs were also provided for use by pregnant women. In the year 2014, the Community Empowerment Program took off. It's an ongoing program where several rural dwellers are empowered to be self-employed and self-reliant. Under this program, Mrs. Amosu's pet project, the Uplift Development Foundation, in collaboration with the World Bank, empowered several caregivers to cater for orphans and vulnerable children in some communities in the state. The first national green essay competition was organized in 2014 by the Uplift Foundation in collaboration with Channels Television, based on Mrs. Amosu's book titled Green Education for the Youth. Under this program, youths from across the country were required to write an essay on environmental sustainability. This is aimed at inculcating the green culture in the youths. Successful candidates later went through oral interviews. In October 2015, 12 finalists from 6 geopolitical zones in the country were sponsored by Mrs. Amosu to the United Kingdom for a leadership and environmental workshop program. Winners of this competition are now green ambassadors of their various states. Following the abduction of about 300 schoolgirls at government secondary schools, Chibok, Borno State, Mrs. Olufunsho Amosu lent her voice in condemning the ugly incident and organized a solidarity walk and a prayer session for the missing girls to identify with their parents as well as pray for their safe return. This was in 2014 and 2015 respectively. In December 2015, Mrs. Olufunsho Amosu, on behalf of the wife of Mr. President, Mrs. Aisha Buhari, along with 3 other women, climbed the Mount Kilimanjaro to raise funds towards improving the living conditions of the internally displaced persons. This is a further demonstration of the concern of Mrs. Amosu to the plight of these various displaced women, children, and families in different camps in the country. In 2015, Mrs. Olufunsho Amosu, under the Wife of the President's Program for Mothers, distributed several cartons of Frisomom Gold Milk to breastfeeding mothers and pregnant women across the state. Mrs. Amosu still went a step further to give a token of 5,000 naira to each of the women. In March 2016, Mrs. Amosu, under the Free Health Initiative of the wife of Mr. President, facilitated free health screening for over 2,500 people. SIA Water for Rural Women is an ongoing program under which rural women are being provided with portable water through provision of modern boreholes with other necessary facilities. Early 2016, Mrs. Olufunsho Amosu, through her Uplift Development Foundation in collaboration with the Guarantee Trust Bank, organized a 5-day one-on-one consultation assessment for children living with autism. The program saw experts from the United States of America and their Nigerian counterparts providing services in speech and physical therapy, behavior analysis, audiology, development psychiatry, physiotherapy, clinical psychology, among others, to the children. In view of all these accomplishments under the Uplift Development Foundation, little wonder then that the strides recorded by Olufunsho Amosu have continued to elicit public commendation. For these reasons, this woman of substance has been presented prestigious awards in recognition of her contribution to society. These include Angel of Mercy Award by Feed Elderly Foundation Ijebu-Ode, City People Award, Lagos, Best Performing First Lady Award, Ireland, Most Socially Responsible Governor's Wife, London, Most Valuable Governor's Wife, Abuja, Women Advancement Forum, MDGs Award in South Africa, among several others. It is also in recognition of this that Mrs. Olufunsho Amosu was recently conferred with an Honorary Doctorate of Science Award on Environmental Management by Novena University, Delta State. Today, we celebrate the brain behind the Uplift Development Foundation, an initiative that has put smiles on the faces of thousands of men and women, young and old. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, meet Dr. Mrs. Comfort Olufunsho Amosu at 50.
What a woman! What a heart! What passion! A woman truly with